Trust is the invisible thread that holds relationships together. It is the foundation on which everything else stands. Without it, any bond, be it between friends, family, or partners, becomes fragile and prone to disintegration. Trust in its purest form is not just about believing that someone will keep their word, but it is about having confidence in their character, their intentions, and their ability to act in a way that is fair, honest, and consistent. When trust is present, relationships thrive. When it's absent, they crumble. It's as simple and as complicated as that. The act of trusting someone is often a vulnerable experience. To trust is to expose oneself to the possibility of disappointment, betrayal, or even harm. But the reward for this vulnerability is deep and fulfilling connection. As Brené Brown rightly said, trust is earned in the smallest of moments. It is built over time through consistent actions and shared experiences. We learn to trust someone not from their promises, but from their actions, from the way they show up for us in times of need, from the way they honor their word, and from the way they treat us when no one is watching. Trust grows slowly, but can be shattered in an instant, leaving behind a trail of doubt and uncertainty. This is why it is so vital that we protect it and nourish it daily. Trust is not a transaction. It is not something that can be demanded or forced. It is not about making someone prove themselves over and over again, nor is it about being constantly vigilant for signs of betrayal. Trust flourishes in the absence of suspicion. It grows when we give others the benefit of the doubt and allow them the space to prove themselves. It is through showing trust that we invite others to rise to the occasion, to meet us with integrity, and to demonstrate their commitment to the relationship. When trust is present, there is an unspoken understanding between people. It creates an environment where both parties can be themselves, free of fear, knowing that they are supported, understood, and accepted for who they are. It creates safety in the relationship, and it is this safety that allows love to bloom. In the words of Stephen Covey, trust is the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. It's the foundational principle that holds all relationships. When trust is established, we no longer need to worry about the basics. We can focus on deepening the connection, on understanding each other more fully, on growing together. It's in this space that love becomes an active force. Without trust, even the most beautiful expressions of love can become empty gestures. Words lose their weight when they are not backed by the assurance that they are sincere. Gestures become hollow when they are not rooted in the belief that the other person will genuinely value them. Trust ensures that love is not just an abstract idea, but a living, breathing force that shapes our reality. Love cannot exist without trust, and trust cannot thrive without love. They are two sides of the same coin, each reinforcing the other in a beautiful dance. But trust is not something we should take for granted. It's easy to assume that trust is automatic, that once it is built, it will remain intact forever. However, trust is fragile. It requires constant nurturing, constant attention, and constant vigilance. In any relationship, there will be moments of misunderstanding, miscommunication, or even conflict. It is in these moments that trust is tested. It is in these moments that we are given the opportunity to either strengthen or weaken the bond. When trust is broken, it takes time and effort to repair, and sometimes it may never fully return to its original state. This is why it is so important to prioritize trust from the very beginning. Like a garden, trust needs to be watered, nurtured, and protected from the weeds of doubt, suspicion, and dishonesty. Without this care, it will wither and die. In many ways, trust is the ultimate act of courage. It requires us to step outside of our fears, to let go of control, and to open ourselves to the possibility of disappointment. It is easier and often safer to build walls around ourselves and to remain guarded, but true intimacy comes when we allow others to see us at our most vulnerable. Trust invites us to be brave, to put ourselves in situations where we risk being hurt and yet still choose to believe in the goodness of others. As the great philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche said, the most important thing in life is to choose courage over fear. It is only when we are willing to trust that we give ourselves the chance to experience the full depth of human connection. In relationships, trust is not just about believing that the other person will act in our best interest, but it is also about believing in ourselves. It's about trusting that we are worthy of love, worthy of respect, and capable of creating a healthy, fulfilling relationship. When we trust ourselves, we are better able to trust others. We are less likely to be consumed by insecurity or jealousy, and we are more likely to act with integrity, kindness, and generosity. Trust is a reflection of our own self-worth, and when we lack self-trust, we may find it harder to trust others. It's a cycle that feeds on itself, either strengthening or undermining the relationships around us. Trust is also the glue that holds together the most difficult relationships, the ones that have experienced conflict, misunderstanding, or betrayal. In these situations, trust may seem impossible to rebuild, but it is not. It requires vulnerability, accountability, and a willingness to listen, to understand, and to grow together. It may take time, and it may not look the same as it once did, but with effort, patience, and love, trust can be restored. And when it is, the bond becomes even stronger. As Aristotle said, the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. It's through the act of trust, especially in the face of difficulty, that relationships are tested and strengthened. The importance of trust in relationships cannot be overstated. It is the cornerstone of every meaningful connection, the foundation upon which love, loyalty, and mutual respect are built. Without it, relationships falter, and even the most beautiful bonds can dissolve into nothingness. But when trust is present, it creates a safe, nurturing environment where love can grow and flourish. Trust is the key to deep, meaningful relationships, and it is through trust that we find the courage to open our hearts into love, truly and completely. So let us hold trust sacred, for it is the force that holds us together, that allows us to grow together, and that makes relationships truly worth having. Love is not just an emotion, it is a force, a driving energy that shapes our world and our relationships. Love shares the real estate with one another. It is life. It has the power to heal wounds, to transform individuals, and to bring out the best in us. Yet many times we underestimate the full depth of what love truly means. We often think of it as a fleeting feeling, a passing fancy that arises in moments of joy and comfort. But love is much more profound than this. It is an active force that moves us to sacrifice, to give, to care, and to grow. When love is present, it becomes a catalyst that propels us forward, even in the most challenging circumstances. Love nurtures, it strengthens, it evolves, creating a bond between individuals that transcends time, space, and circumstance. Love is the very thing that connects us to one another, even in the darkest of times. It's through love that we find the strength to rise above our struggles and challenges. As C.C. Lewis once said, love is not affectionate feeling, but a steady wish for the loved person's ultimate good as far as it can be obtained. Love is not just about fleeting moments of happiness. It's about being there for one another through thick and thin. It is the ability to look at someone even when they are at their worst, and still see their value, their potential, and their worth. Love encourages us to grow, to stretch beyond our limitations, and to become better versions of ourselves. It challenges us, sometimes painfully, to evolve beyond what we were yesterday. At the heart of love is a deep sense of empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. When love exists in its purest form, we begin to recognize that the suffering of others is our suffering, and their joy is our joy. This interconnectedness is what allows love to flourish. It is the recognition that we are all in this together, that no one is truly alone in their pain or their triumphs. As Maya Angelou wisely observed, we all need love. We all need to feel loved. We all need to give love. Love is the only thing that will make the difference. Love is not just about receiving, it is about giving. It's about putting the needs of others above our own, and in doing so, finding a deeper connection with the world around us. This selflessness is at the core of the love that brings about true change, not just in our relationships, but in our lives. However, love is not always easy. It often requires sacrifice, patience, and at times a willingness to put the other person's needs before our own. This is not a weakness, but a strength. It takes a great deal of courage to love someone fully, to love them not just when it's convenient, but when it's difficult, when it's inconvenient, when it challenges us to grow beyond ourselves. The poet Rainer Maria Rilke once wrote, "Love consists of this, two solitudes that meet, protect, and greet each other." Love requires us to open ourselves up to another, to make space for them in our lives, and to respect the individuality they bring to the relationship. It demands that we let go of selfishness, that we set aside our ego, and that we commit ourselves fully to the process of loving, even when it's hard. One of the most transformative aspects of love is its power to heal. Love has a unique ability to mend broken hearts, to restore hope, and to give strength in moments of despair. It has a remarkable capacity to lift us up when we are at our lowest. As the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche so aptly put it, there is always some madness in love, but there is also always some reason in madness. Love's power lies in its ability to transform our weaknesses into strengths, to make us see the world through new eyes. It is not just the balm for wounds, but the fire that reignites our passion for life. It gives us the courage to take risks, to try again, and to face the world with renewed vigor. Love breathes life into what might otherwise be stale or stagnant. And yet, love is not just about emotional comfort. It is also about growth. True love challenges us to evolve, to become better versions of ourselves. Love is not content with allowing us to stay stagnant in our habits, our perspectives, or our actions. It constantly pushes us to grow, to develop, and to strive for something greater. In every relationship, love provides the fertile soil in which both individuals can blossom. It nurtures our strengths and helps us work through our weaknesses. Love encourages us to take responsibility for our actions, to confront our flaws, and to rise to the occasion. It demands that we be more than we were yesterday, that we challenge ourselves to reach our fullest potential. This growth comes with a profound sense of responsibility. When we love, we take on the responsibility of nurturing, protecting, and supporting the other person. We make it our duty to create an environment where the other can flourish. Love is not about possession or control. It is about freedom and trust. It is about creating a safe space where both people can be themselves, where they can express their thoughts, their feelings, and their dreams without fear of judgment. It is about offering support, not just when it's easy, but when it's hard, when the other person is struggling to find their way. In a true relationship, love is the very thing that allows each person to stand as their authentic self, while still being supported by the presence of the other. Love also demands forgiveness. No relationship is without its flaws, its mistakes, its moments of misunderstanding, but love in its truest form has the power to forgive. It has the strength to let go of past wrongs, to offer second chances, and to rebuild what has been broken. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather choosing to move forward, choosing to heal, and choosing to focus on the future rather than the past. Love does not hold grudges, does not dwell on the negative, but instead looks forward with hope, believing that the best is yet to come. This kind of love allows us to grow together, to learn together, and to become more than we ever could have been apart. In relationships, love is the force that brings people together, binds them in shared experience, and propels them toward growth and transformation. It is the quiet force that sustains us through difficult times, the motivating force that pushes us to be better, and the unifying force that connects us all. Love asks for nothing, yet gives everything. It asks for vulnerability, but rewards it with strength. Love is not a passive emotion, but an active force that drives us to do, to care, to create, and to grow. And it is through love that we discover our true selves, that we discover the power of connection, and that we realize the profound beauty of life itself. Love is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It is the catalyst that ignites our best qualities, strengthens our bonds, and guides us toward the future. When we embrace love fully, we unlock the potential to create meaningful, lasting relationships. And in doing so, we tap into something far greater than ourselves, a power that has the ability to change our world. One act of kindness, one moment of vulnerability, and one expression of love at a time.